What is up, guys? It's your boy Andy Arts. I just did this really cool drawing of Aang airbending. He's airbending. There's like a sphere here. There's like an air ball here. He's like bending it, right? And I'm gonna take this to Clip Studio Pro, and I'm gonna line it up, and I'm gonna color it up, and then we're gonna see what the heck is he's bending here. Is it a circle? Is it a square? Is it a triangle? All right, let's go ahead and upload this baby to Clip Studio. What's going on, guys? Okay, so let's go ahead and find our avatar. Where did I put Aang? I put him in this folder. All right, here we go. Bring him in. Okay, gotta straighten this out. Here we go. Yep, I like to draw things and then upload them to Clip Studio. You know, there are just some drawings that you like to do by hand, but I'm not much of an acrylics and oil paint type of guy. I'm not much of a marker type of guy, for that matter. However, I am a Clip Studio digital coloring type of guy. So here we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up here while we're doing the line art. Okay, so the line art, what I'm decided to do here is use a dark brown color, kind of like a dark red color, you could say, like a wine color, and use it for the skin. Now, it's good to use brown because brown is the type of color that blends with almost anything, right? With almost anything. That's why you see a lot of artists on, a lot of artists using like a dark brown or dark red type of color, because it just, it just goes together with so many things, especially with skin, right? When you're coloring skin. Now we're getting the getting mostly the body, but the eyebrows I use a black color. Right, we're outlining everything here, and I'm having some fun here with this. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so the hands are the hardest part to draw. Like it took me a while. I had to get a model to draw these hands and the arm in that position. So right, and then the hand in this position, man, I had to try like a bunch of times to get it right. I don't even know if I have it right, in this art piece, but hey, you guys be the judge. Yeah, there we go. So I did have fun drawing this. Oh yeah. And the fingers on the other side, nails. All right, and we're using black to color the clothing, his monk attire, right? From the Air Nomads. The reason why I decided to draw this is because, Avatar: The Last Airbender live action by Netflix is coming out on February 19, February 20, February 19, I think, or February 18. And my favorite part, the arrow. Gotta draw the arrow, gotta do it right. If you're gonna do the arrow, you gotta do it right, buddy. Don't do the arrow a disservice by getting it wrong. Oh, by the way, I already did the arrow sphere, and again, I speeded up, I showed you guys here. I did the arrow sphere before starting this video because I wanted to get a feeling of like, what he's holding. And the best way to do it is to just kind of like, try to put that object there first and then work towards it. And we're going to put in our base colors. All right, dude. So yeah, so let's go ahead and add that arrow. Put in the that beautiful orange yellow. See, I like the Air Nomads for their colors. They have like my favorite colors, which is red, right? There were a lot of like red sauces, mainly orange. They got that Naruto. They got that Naruto orange color robe that we all grew up with, right? So I decided to paint Aang in this position, just kind of airbending. I wanted to draw like a teenage Aang, right? Because Aang, he's like 12, 13. If you read the comics, I think it's like a year later in the comics, so he's like 13, 14 at that point. But we never really get to see teenage Aang, and I wonder how he would look. So I decided to go ahead and draw it myself. So Michael Dante Martino, Brian Konietzki, please do not come after me and try to sue me for copyright. I'm just trying to have fun. Right. So yeah, so Aang has these brown eyes. His eyes are not the most noticeable things. Brown eyes are the most common thing on the planet, unless you're on the water trap and you have blue eyes, and that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I think I did a pretty good job on the eyes, just showing some glare, showing that pupil, that highlight, right? Yeah. So a bit about my interest in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I've been watching the show since it was in Nickelodeon back in 2005 when it came out. It came out in 2005, yo. I still remember it was a big deal. It was a pretty big deal when it came out in Nickelodeon, man. I mean, it's Nickelodeon was banking. Nickelodeon was banking on Avatar big time because back then there was nothing like it. I mean, besides anime, the only thing that Avatar was really competing with was anime. But other than that, if you compare it to other American animation at the time, there was just nothing that was comparing to Avatar at the time. It was like the best show. I think it got like 15 million viewership. It was a lot. I mean, there was a lot of people watching that show. It was big. It was huge. It was a big deal. Because we haven't seen an animated show like that. More specifically, because there were other shows that have like this anime aesthetic, like Teen Titans. Teen Titans, like if you look at it, is kind of the art style is kind of inspired by anime, especially in the early 2000s, right? And there were other shows like the Winx. I think it's called the Winx Club, right? Or like Totally Spies, right? Where they use kind of like this semi anime type of art style, you could say. I guess we're gonna call it semi-anime art style. But Avatar: The Last Airbender was on point, not only inspired by anime, but it looked like an anime. It was hard to believe that it was an American show, especially since it was the story revolved around Asian mythology and Asian religions like Buddhism. In other Asian mythological creatures, like I think a lot of the creatures in Avatar were created based on Chinese mythology, except for maybe like the animals, like the hybrid animals, like a platypus bear or a freaking turtle duck, and things like that. Flying bison, a flying lemur, all that stuff, right? In the world of Avatar, they invented a lot of shit. They invented a lot of creatures, which, hey, and that's how it is when you're creating a brand new world. You gotta come up with some stuff, Gotta impress the crowd. But back then when it came out, man, it was it was a very, very unique show. So not only was it unique, but we haven't seen anything like it. It was so unique. And everybody thought it was just like anime. Like it came out, it was inspired by anime. And it wasn't. It was absolutely amazing to see, an American show of that high quality. And I would say that Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of the last shows out there with that type of quality. I mean, it was so high quality and it was considered an American TV show. Right, I mean, it was very, very high quality especially for being on Nickelodeon. Because on Nickelodeon, you got what? You got Cat Dog, you got the Rugrats, especially back in the 2000s. You got Phineas and Ferb, that's Disney, but Cat Dog, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, all those Nickelodeon cartoon shows, man. It's especially back then. And then Avatar comes out on Nickelodeon. And it's just, nothing competes with it because it's so beautiful, it's so high quality, and the story, I mean, God, the story was so deep, especially for a kid show, because this was still a kid show back then, a show for kids, for children like 12 years old or older. And I mean, and of course, if you notice, Aang himself is 12 years old. So that's for, the demographics, like the type of audience that they were going for this type of adventure. But the story was just so deep. The story was so deep, bro. And it was hard to believe that it was for a kid. It was for kids. Um, I mean, it wasn't like PG-13, but still, it's like this type of story being, published in America. It was very deep. I've never seen anything like it, especially done with the elements, right? So, yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender back in the 2000s. It was the bomb. It was the absolute best back then, man. You know, and 15 years later, it is still one of the best shows made by Americans. Right? It was still the best show made by Americans, and it's still. Whenever it shows up on Netflix on video streaming, it takes the charts. It always makes top 10 each and every time. It made top 10 on Netflix, and then they decided to go and make a live action, which is why I made this video to kind of celebrate the coming of the live action. Now, of course, they're good. They're obviously going to change things because the live action, I think it has about 9 to 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So they're definitely going to change things because season 1 of the original Avatar had 20 episodes. Yeah, it had about 20 episodes. The original, 20 episodes, season 1. And you're telling me that they're gonna shrink all that into nine episodes, which is basically 9 hours. I don't think so. So they're definitely gonna change some things. I mean, I already seen some changes happening. Like Azula's gonna be in the first season. That is incorrect, but I'm willing to give it a chance because this is one of my favorite shows, and I want to see what they do with it. And I do want to give it the time of day. Now, some people are still apprehensive about live action adaptations, and I understand why, but I like to give certain shows a chance, especially if it's one that I've been, such a big fan of for the longest time. So, all right, so we're coming to the end of our art piece here is almost done. Just kind of doing the highlight stuff, a couple of other things, and yeah, just doing some final touches here in the artwork and the aerosphere. Yeah, the air scooter. The air ball, baby. That was my favorite part of the whole painting. So if you really like this video, if you want more speed paints, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, it's your boy Andy Arts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next art video. Peace out.